Marc Berman is a major minor celebrity in Atlantic City. He interviews the biggest names in the music and entertainment world, and when he leaves the station, he gets asked the same question time and time again. Who are you?
I'm Marc Berman, and this is my podcast.
What's up, guys? This is Shawn Stockman from BoyzIIMen, and you're checking out my man, Marc Berman, on the Marc Berman Show.
BoyzIIMen are the most successful R&B group of all time, having sold more than 60 million albums worldwide. In the 90s, the group won 4 Grammy Awards. The group's first single to reach number 1 in 1992, End of the Road, a killer hit, a killer song, reached top of the charts across the globe. End of the Road would set a new record for longevity. Check this out, staying at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 13 weeks, breaking the decades-old record by Elvis Presley. BoyzIIMen, now, wait a minute, it gets even better. BoyzIIMen would exceed even that record later in the decade with hits I'll Make Love to You and, of course, One Sweet Day with Mariah Carey, which each exceeded records for the longest period of time a single remained at number 1. As of 2010, One Sweet Day still holds the all-time record with 16 weeks at the top of the Hot 100. Please welcome to the Marc Berman Show, BoyzIIMen, Shawn Stockman. Shawn, welcome.
Marc, you just put so much pressure on me right now. Like, what an introduction! Like that was amazing. Like I don't know how we'll keep that up, you know, at the show in June. It was off the hook, man. Thank you. That was good.
Let's face it, you guys did all that. It's pure God-given talent.
Thank you very much.
Now, did you all meet at the Philly High School for the Performing Arts?
Yes, we were all vocal majors at Kappa in South Philly. Not the nice school that they have right now, but the one that, you know, that was kind of like still in the embryonic stages of developing and things of that nature. Like, we look at the new school now and say how lucky the kids are, man. Like, it's a real nice school. But yeah, that's where we all met back in '86. We officially formed the group in '88, and that was pretty much, you know, the rest was pretty much history after that. After we met.
You know, the old school is stuff that movies are made of. The new school is beautiful. And, of course, I'm a Philly guy. So.
Yeah.
But the old school stuff, you know, that's stuff movies and dreams are made of, the old building.
Hey, man, and we used to actually do those types of things. It's funny because, you know, one thing is true. If you're in a singing group, the best acoustics anywhere is the subway. And we used to sing in the subway all the time. And we used to do our routines and things of that nature. And we didn't do it for money either. It was like, you know, we didn't panhandle or anything like that. It was just, we would just set up, you know, our radio, or we would just, you know, use our voices and sing for a little bit. And people try to give us money. We were like, no, we ain't doing it for that. We just want to sing, you know, because the acoustics is nice and things of that nature. And we would, you know, garnish a little audience and everything. So we kind of dug the attention, you know, from the people and obviously the girls. You know, that was another motivation of ours, you know, in our early stages of our career. So, you know, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got to take it even further. That would be the Broad Street subway.
Right, Broad Street sub.
So
mainly around, where was it? We'd probably mainly be in Center City, you know, either, you know, Market Street or, you know, just around that area.
Sure, you'd hang out down at the gallery, right?
Yeah, hung out at the Gallery Mall, you know, singing at every cute girl that we could find. And, you know, after that, go down to 8th Street, you know, and down to the subway and sing down there, or Ellsworth and Federal up there. You know, so, you know, we were all over the city doing our thing.
And we're a very acoustically fine city, Philadelphia. I remember from living there all those years. What a great city. And I'm glad you brought this up, because people look at New York for the street corner harmonies when we had BoyzIIMen doing it right here, right there in Philadelphia on the streets up there. Listen, your first label...
Right.
Your first label was Motown, but being from Philly, how did they get you?
You know what? We just so happened to meet a gentleman by the name of Michael Bivins, who was part of a group, R&B group called New Edition, who acquired a production deal with Motown Records. And the president at the time, Mr. Gerald Busby, who was good friends with Michael, gave him that deal. And it just so happens that he was in Philadelphia doing show appearance, and we happened to sneak backstage and happened to run into him because we were big fans of his group, and we sang for him, and not too long after, he signed us to Motown.
Cooley High Harmony. There's another one.
Yes.
What an album, man. Huge. Incredible. Hard to say goodbye to yesterday and Motown Philly. So now we've got this song. It's the first time it's actually addressed ever. People talk about, well, you got Motown, you got Philly. You got Motown, you got Philly. And what do you guys do? You come out with a song, Motown Philly. So who wrote that and decided to link the two out in the open instead of just private conversations?
You know what? The same gentleman, Michael Bivins, came up with the idea of creating a song called Motown Philly. And Nathan and I, Nathan, who's in the group with me, we were both like scratching our heads like, what the hell is a Motown Philly?
Yeah.
So the producer at the time, named Dallas Austin, happened to have a real good, up-tempo track that we said, you know what, let's write it to this. And Nathan and I sat down and wrote the lyrics for the song. And pretty much that we described what Motown Philly was. It's basically just bridging two great musical cities together through us and through our affiliation with Motown. And that's pretty much how it went. And in the midst of that, us telling our story on how we got started and why we sing and the whole thing.
And actually, that's a great title. It flows a little bit better than Holland Dozier, Holland, Gamble, and Huff. It flows a lot.
Yeah. That's too many syllables.
Now,
it's going to be harder to sing along, you know what I mean?
Now, you got kids, so let me ask you, are they playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? Because I know Motown Philly's in that.
No, actually, they're a little too young for that. I got twin boys that are 8, and I have a daughter who is now trying to take the phone from me at 1 year old. And she's a little too young for video games, too. She's into the Wiggles and Yo Gabba Gabba.
Oh, yeah. We're talking to BoyzIIMen, Shawn Stockman, here on the Marc Berman Show. Listen, although you recorded on Motown, did you record in Philly?
We recorded in Philadelphia. The first record was recorded mostly in Philly and in Atlanta because that's where the producer at the time lived. So we did a lot of commuting from Atlanta to Philadelphia. So, but most of it, yes, was done in Studio 4 off 4th Street, not too far from Kenn's Landing.
Yeah.
I believe the studio is still there. It was originally owned by the Nicolo brothers, and, that's where we hung out, man.
Are you still in the Philly area?
Actually, I live in L.A.
Oh, you do?
As the rest of my group members say, I'm the one that sold out.
Oh, no.
So I flew west.
Okay, but let's go back. Let's go back to Philly for a second. Pat's or Geno's?
You know what? Ishkadibbles. I got love for Pat, and I got love for Gino. They're both good folks. They're friends of ours, and we love them both. But Ishkadibbles has some of the best chicken cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
And I love them. I love them. With that, the fries and the gremlin,
yeah,
you're good to go.
How about Larry's Home of the Belly Fillers? You remember them? City Line Avenue.
Absolutely. And I also used to, when I was really young, my mother used to take me to Jim's on South Street.
Oh, Jim Steaks was always great.
That was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite places. I used to love the smell of that place. You walk in, and it just smelled so good. So that was one of my places too.
And we're talking Philly, but we're on here at WOND 1400 in Atlantic City. But you know how many listeners, you moved and I moved down here, people move to the shore and they love hearing about all this stuff. You and I share two things. I'm from Philly, you're from Philly, and we share September 26th, man.
Oh, is it your birthday?
Yeah, it's my birthday. Yeah.
Oh, get on it. See, you know what? I knew there was a good energy with you. See, there you go. There you go. This interview is going to be awesome.
Yeah, except we're just 20 years apart, but that's all. See, there's some things that I remember that you don't. How about the Uptown? What do you think of that? I was there $5 for the Motown review for my ticket. Now, see, I think the Uptown may have closed before BoyzIIMen.
Yeah. No, actually, we got a chance to perform at the Uptown before it officially closed.
You did?
And yes. We actually performed at the Uptown before it closed, and it was on its last leg. They were trying to actually refurbish it, and they would have like a couple shows here and there to try to keep it going, but it obviously it just didn't pan out. But we did do like a talent show up there, and I think we were one of the last performances.
And that was absolutely an amazing place. Okay, you've had huge success, and your Billboard success, man, it's just, well, it speaks for itself. Do you have a pinch me moment? You've played around the world. You played arenas, big and small. You played the little joints. You played the big places. Do you have a moment where you say to yourself, I'm here. I can't believe I'm on this stage singing. This is like a dream to me.
All the time. Yeah. Whenever we finish a performance, whenever we finish a show, I always look up and thank God. Every time we're done, because again, we've seen a lot of friends in the business came around the same time that we did, some maybe a little earlier, some maybe a little later, and they're not here anymore. And yeah, I know, Mama. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It's one of those things where we understand and appreciate the position that we're in. So I don't care how big the venue is. I don't care how small the venue is. Every time we step on stage, every time we perform, and every time we make people happy, honestly, I'm very grateful for that, because I could be somewhere else. I could be on the street corner doing something that I ain't supposed to be doing. I could be, somewhere pretty much, lost in obscurity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things of that nature. So I keep it very realistic with myself, and the fellas and I are always grateful. And every show, I thank God. I thank God for it, because, like I said, I could be in another situation somewhere else, doing something else that I ain't supposed to be doing or not want to do. I still do what I love to do.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing.
You have a favorite BoyzIIMen song?
Honestly, people ask this, and it all depends on the night, because all the songs we sing are personal to us, and we love them for different reasons. But it's the crowd and it's the audience that kind of makes certain songs stick out more than others. So, it all depends on the night. Some people react to Bended Knee more than they react to I'll Make Love to You or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's just how the crowd feeds us, because let's be honest, singing the song as many times as we sing it sometimes can get a little mundane, but it's the people that kind of gives it that new life and that new energy that lets us give the song that 100% one more time.
You're on the left coast, and I know somebody told me they do have a basketball team or two out there. I'm not sure. Are you still a Sixers fan?
I'm a Sixers fan till I die.
That's great. Listen, so summertime, which Jersey Shore did you go to? You know
what? My mother wasn't really big on the shore, because we lived so far and we were so deep into Philadelphia. I don't have memories of the shore. I have memories of Great Adventure.
Oh.
And I have memories of, Hershey Park.
Of course, at your age. At your age.
Yeah.
you
know what I'm saying? So we never really did the shore so much. It did. My mother would keep the kids home so they can go out and gamble. So we never really went to the actual shore. So my mom would go. I remember my mother going on the charter bus with her friends, and they would go for the day and spend a couple of dollars in the slots and whatnot. But,
yeah, and she'd come home.
I really didn't get a chance.
Yeah, she'd come home and you're just a kid, and she'd take you over to Chuck E. Cheese.
That's what I was doing. You know what I mean? The shore, she didn't do that. It was too far of a trip. She did that with her friends, and where they could smoke their Newports and spend money on the slots.
and in those days, you could smoke the Newports in the casinos. So listen, growing up,
right. Who
who influenced you growing up, and who influences you now?
Okay, I'll try to bunch all that up in one answer. Marvin Gaye, James Brown, Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, Prince, New Edition, David Ruffin, Eddie Hendricks, Jimi Hendrix.
You've bridged the
Metallica,
gamut. Yeah.
Metallica, Motley Crue, and Run DMC, Slick Rick, LL Cool J.
All you did, you left
I
off.
can go off that.
You left off Rob Bass, okay?
Yeah, him too.
Actually, he was down here. He was down here a short time ago. Do you have any fan moments? You know, the women, men love you guys too, but you know what? The women with your love songs and stuff, these women have to go nuts at your concerts. Do you have any crazy fan moments?
Yeah, I wouldn't share on radio, but like, you know, yeah, there would be, you know, some crazy people. You know what I mean? One particular thing that we do on our shows is like we give out roses.
Yeah.
For one of our songs, and it's funny because you'll see like the frailest, you know, sweetest looking little girl, you know, or young lady, and when we pour those roses out, like they get this, we call it like venue strength, where these small little dainty girls are pushing and pulling hair and the whole 9 yards just to get a rose from one of us. And it's like the funniest thing of the show because we get a chance to actually be entertained, you know, instead of it being the other way around. Because the women, a lot of times, like they get like it gets belligerent out there. Like it's like a mosh pit of women just trying to get like roses. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you know I think that's like the funniest part. And still today, like I mean, I think it's only one, maybe two incidents where there were actual fights. But other than that. It's just a bunch of women just jockeying for position, and it's hilarious.
Shawn, I want to thank you for spending a few minutes on the Marc Berman Show on News Talk 1400 WOND. This has been awesome.
Thanks, Marc. Thanks for having me, dude, and we'll see you at the show. What's up, guys? This is Shawn Stockman from BoyzIIMen, and you're checking out my man, Marc Berman, on the Marc Berman Show.
The Marc Berman Show is always on. Go to marcberman.com for our podcasts of our past shows and interviews.